All right, back at it here with another here, Mick. Of course, I'm definitely in a good mood because after what I saw Monday night at Highmark Stadium when the Bills dominated the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday Night Football, pretty much one of the best games I've ever attended. Probably any Bills game I've been to my last 2 decades. Seriously, just an MVP performance out of Josh Allen. Not only that, James Cook looked pretty good. The Bills defense looked dominant, just like the Miami game. And boy, the Jaguars 0-3 to start the year. Bills still undefeated. Let's recap. I mean, I got to Orchard Park at like 2 o'clock. It's a tailgate. Like 5.5 hours before game time. I just want to enjoy. Tailgating a Monday Night Football game. I did that. And I met up with like familiar people. I met up with my brother. Obviously, this baseball team. Met up with them. Also met my mom's cousin at one point. And also met up with one of my kickball teammates as well. And once you got to the stadium, yeah, Hubert, you were at the game. Yeah, that's right. That Monday night game was great. I mean, it was. It was. The Bills just looked dominant. And it definitely was great to see it. The tailgate party Monday. Saw you, Danny South. It was. It was good to see you finally in Bills gear. Oh yeah. But that was a phenomenal one. Damar Hamlin gets his first NFL interception. After everything he's been through the last few, with the cardiac arrest and all, out of nowhere, first Monday night game since then, he gets a pick. First NFL interception. Not only that, we get to see Keon Coleman get his first NFL touchdown, his rookie season with the Bills. We were waiting for that to happen. Out of all things, that had to be the game I was at. Ray Davis, rookie running back for the Bills, he gets his first NFL touchdown. But Josh Allen had 4 touchdown passes, though. Obviously, Coleman was one of them. James Cook was another one. Kincaid, he also had Shakir, and then he also had Ty Johnson. Kept getting after Lawrence. Also forced Mac Jones came in as a scrub too. He got fumbled too. So that was a complete game by the Bills. 3-0. Now going their toughest stretch of the season. They're in good shape so far. So yeah, I'm happy about the win. I'm very happy about it. So I had to talk about the Bills game first. So now let's get into this week's college football picks. Let's recap last week, obviously. Starting with a couple of Friday games. Both I did not see coming. Let's start with Syracuse-Stanford. Syracuse was a big time favorite going into that game last week and ended up losing to Stanford, which I did not see come. I had Syracuse winning. Yeah. Stanford looks just as good as like nobody else expected. A lot different team. The thing is, it's a first conference game. They still got a long season ahead of them. That's a good win for Stanford, though. Now they got to go into another tough environment now in Clemson. Still, first ACC game for Stanford, and they go out and win on the road in Syracuse. Tough road trip. I thought for sure Syracuse was going to win. Nope. Stanford got hit a game-winning field goal. But it was an instant class for those two. Then Illinois-Nebraska, a ranked matchup. It lived up to it. It was a pretty good game. Ended up going to OT, but Illinois came up with the win. That was another one I did not see coming. I really thought Nebraska looked pretty good, especially at home. I thought for sure they're going to win. Illinois, I underestimated them once again. So, yeah, another good win for Illinois. They're 4-0. They got a big game this weekend with Penn State, which we'll get into in a little bit. So that was kind of a stunner. They're both ranked, but still, I just did not I expected Nebraska to win that game personally. Some of the notable noon games I was talking about. Clemson dominated NC State. I was not surprised on that one. I knew Clemson was going to win that one for sure. NC State was overrated every year. Klubnik looks pretty good. Cade Klubnik looks pretty good for Clemson as a quarterback. He still looks good. He had that 55-yard touchdown run, obviously, to start the game. It was just a complete high-scoring game. Didn't State up giving 35 points, but it was 59-35 the final. Clemson still looks like the real deal. I don't know, but still. The thing is, it was NC State. They should beat Stanford this weekend. Kansas, West Virginia. Kansas blows an 11-point lead and loses to West Virginia. I had that pick right on that one. But, man, West Virginia kind of got lucked up, but still, it was instant classic. Those two have always come down to the last possession, it feels like. But Kansas dropped the third straight loss now. West Virginia back to 500 after a tough loss to Pitt. Penn State. I was not surprised they're going to blow up Kent State. The Kent State Golden Flashes, probably one of the worst teams in FBS this year. I mean, this is a team that lost an FCS team in St. Francis. I'm not surprised Penn State shut them out. Back-to-back weeks, Kent State, the Golden Flash from the MAC conference, did not score. Back-to-back shots getting shut out by Tennessee and Penn State. Well, let's get into Virginia Tech. Very disappointed by Virginia Tech Hokies. I mean, I don't care if Rutgers is good or not. That's a team you should be beating, especially at home. They just looked embarrassing. They just looked embarrassed, I tell you. I don't care what the score was. That looked embarrassing, that game. You cannot lose to Rutgers back-to-back years. I mean, I'll give Rutgers look better for sure, but still, just at home, that's disgusting. I'm just disgusted with the loss. You really want to be a legit contender for the playoffs or like the ACC. That does not look like the Virginia Tech team I thought was going this season. Kyron Drones. He's got to play better. It starts with him. Bishel Tutin's doing everything he can. I mean, the running back, he's probably the best offensive player out there right now. The running game's good. It's just Kyron Drones is not just. He got a good arm for it. He's just not consistent enough lately. We've seen. They got to do more. And it's not going to be easy. They got Miami this weekend, which, top 10 team on the road. It's going to be tough. So Virginia Tech's got to improve for sure. Now with the conference play comp, they got to improve now. Just embarrassing. Then Youngstown State, I wasn't surprised Pitt was going to beat Youngstown State. Pitt, they dropped 73 points. They're 4-0 after a better start compared to last year. More wins than last season so far. So that was an easy one for them. Michigan and USC, it came down to the wire. USC could have won the game, but Michigan, came back late to win the game over USC. So that was USC's first loss of the year, but Michigan needed to win that one for sure. I thought for sure they're going to lose. For sure, personally, I ever thought USC because they beat LSU already. I thought for sure USC's the real deal. Yes, I do. I deserve more sure. I agree with you on that one. Still, I could not believe USC lost, but same time, Michigan, they're still the real deal. They still got a good team. At the end of the day, that was a good matchup. Instead of playing a Rose Bowl, they finally played a regular season game. But yeah, LSU and UCLA, I had a feeling LSU was going to win this time. They looked pretty dominant from start to finish in that one. And plus, this is the same UCLA team that's lost to Indiana a couple weeks ago. So I wasn't shocked LSU was going to win that one. Not surprised at all. But the Utah-Oklahoma State game came down to the wire. Both teams were ranked in a huge conference game. But Utah, like I told you, was going to win that game. I told Utah was going to beat Oklahoma State last week on the road. Kyle Whittingham, still one of the most underrated coaches you see in college football. Like one of the longest tenured active coaches still. Seriously, this Utah team now being a top 10 now. They're top 10 in the rankings because of that win. So we'll see. I think they're a legit threat to win the Big 12 this year and make a playoff run. Because playoff expansion now 12. Yeah, 12-team expansion. So that happened. Tennessee, Oklahoma. That was the biggest game last week. Tennessee. Boy, did they look scary. It was not as high scoring as we thought it would be, but Tennessee still looked pretty good. They look like a legit threat for the SEC this year. Starts with their quarterback. Nico Amilava. He is just a Heisman contender for sure. Winning a true road test. I knew they were going to be tested at the beginning, but Tennessee looked pretty good. That's their best win of the season. Then Michigan State and Boston College. That came down to last play. Michigan State should have won that game, but BC kind of lucked out this week. And yeah, it's going to be a long stretch of the season for Michigan State now with conference play coming up. So that's the recap of last week's game. Let's get into this week's games. Let's start with my team, my Virginia Tech Hokies. They got their hands full this Friday night. Friday night, 7:30 on ESPN against number 7 Miami on the road. They are 20-point underdogs. If I were you guys, I would not pick Virginia Tech. I'm still going to pick Virginia Tech as my team. I'm kind of biased in that one, but still. Miami look like a legit team right now. Starts with Cam Ward. Miami's quarterback. He's definitely a Heisman contender along with Tennessee's quarterback and some of the other great quarterbacks we've seen this year. But I'm still taking the Hokies. But man, they gotta really improve going into their first conference game against probably the favorite now to win the ACC. So this is a big test. Miami might be testing this one, but if Virginia Tech plays like they did against the Rutgers and the Vanderbilt games, they're not going to not be close. Virginia Tech's got to put up a good performance on offense, and the defense has got to dominate like they've kind of been in some games, especially the Old Dominion one. It starts with Antoine Power Island. He's been dominating this year. The thing is, By-Shield Tootin, obviously I was talking about earlier, probably one of the best running backs in the nation. He's been really just producing. He's really just living up to his expectations from last year. Kyron Drones, not really. There's some games he's like, okay, I thought he was good, but just he's got to have the best game of his career this Friday night if Virginia Tech wants to win. So, yeah, maybe take the spread this one because it might be closer than the experts think, but Virginia Tech, they're going to have a hard time. I think I'm hoping they pull the upset. I'm really hoping. I'm still picking them, but trying to be optimistic, but after what I saw in the Rutgers game, I just don't see it. So, yeah, I'll take Virginia Tech still, though. Next, let's start with the Saturday games. This SEC on ABC. This is a game on ABC. Is Ole Miss hosting Kentucky. So, Ole Miss, finally talking about Ole Miss. I mean, Jackson Dart is legit. Another Heisman contender quarterback, too. This Ole Miss team just straight up business. They're just blowing every team out, like the weaker opponents. Now they got Kentucky at home. I think they'll roll. I'm taking Ole Miss. I'm taking the Rebels for sure. Jackson Dart's going to have another good game, like I expect. Thing is, he struggled with Kentucky before. I think it was like a couple of years ago. But this time it's not in Lexington. This is in Oxford, so I gotta take the Rebels. This one, give me Ole Miss. Let's go to the 3:30 game on CBS. 3:30. It is Wisconsin hosting. Wisconsin on the road and it's number 13 USC. This is a road game. It's been a while since we've seen these two. I think the last time they played was a bowl game. So now it's Big Ten opponents. Wisconsin, they do struggle with ranked opponents this year. I mean, we saw how bad they looked against Alabama. It was at home, but USC's going to be pissed off, I'm sure. USC is going to be fired up after losing to Michigan. I think they'll get back. They'll get their first Big Ten win and beat Wisconsin. So give me the Trojans. This one. Another big favorite. This one here, this is a really good matchup. Number 15, Louisville at number 16, Notre Dame. This is in South Bend. This is on Peacock exclusive game. Usually their games are on NBC. Oof, this month could be good. Last year, Louisville beat Notre Dame at home. Last year was in Louisville, but this time it's in South Bend. But I'm still going to go with Louisville. I don't know. This Louisville team is just underrated. No one's looking at it. Everyone's thinking Miami and the Clemsons and all that. So I think this Louisville team looks pretty good. I think they'll beat Notre Dame for second year in a row. They're going to go into South Bend and win. I mean, that's a good question there, Spearsville. The Yankees right now, they don't look like a division contender. That is a good question. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of iffy right now. Mixed emotion in that one. But next, let's move on to Arkansas and Texas A&M. Texas A&M ranked number 24. They will be playing Arkansas. This is their traditional, in-state kind of rivalry kind of game. It's not in-state, but it's their Southwest Class, they call it. This is in, this is in Jerry World. This is in Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. I don't know why. I just have a feeling Arkansas is going to beat Texas A&M for some reason. It's just some of these games I kind of pulled a lot of upset picks. I don't know, these gut feeling picks. I got to go with the Razorbacks this one. Texas A&M could have, like in these big games, they could struggle in this one. So I got to go with the Razorbacks over Texas A&M. They're going to win in Jerry World. No, what's the next matchup here we got here? UCF and Colorado. What a matchup that should be. Deion Sanders heading to Orlando. That's a tough environment. UCF is a tough environment for sure. Colorado, I mean, obviously last week, Colorado found a way to win. I mean, forced the Hail Mary by Shedeur Sanders to force to go in overtime. And they get a touchdown. They force the fumble. So Colorado kind of lucked up, but man, wow, I don't know how they pull that one off, but I think they're not going to get lucky this week. UCF is going to roll. I mean, UCF still a legit contender still. I mean, could they get back to the UCF ways? I think so. This game's on Fox. It's not a noon game, but the big noon coverage from Fox, like those guys, Urban Meyer and all them, the pregame guys, they'll be at Orlando for this one because it's Coach Prime. But UCF is going to win. I'm telling you that right now. Next, Auburn and Oklahoma. Of course, Oklahoma come off a heartbreaking loss, a tough loss to Tennessee. Now they go into Auburn, a tough environment. Auburn obviously coming off a loss to Arkansas last week. I think it was early. They beat Arkansas, actually. Yeah, they came off a loss to Arkansas. They lost by 10. They lost by 10 to Arkansas. 2-2 on the year. They lost to Cal, so now in conference play. I don't know. I'm really thinking Auburn could surprise us in this one. I really think Auburn's going to win this one. I don't know. I really think this SEC is so tough. Anything can happen. So I'm going to go with the Auburn Tigers beating Oklahoma. Last time these two met was the Sugar Bowl in the 2016-17 football season. I just feel an Auburn upset this weekend over number 21 Oklahoma. Next, I know it's kind of weird talking about Duke, Carolina. It's not basketball yet, but it's a football matchup here. Duke versus Carolina. Carolina is went through 3 or 4 quarterbacks already this college football season. They're having a hard time this year, so I'm going to go with Duke in this one. It's going to be a long day for Carolina fans. Next, Mississippi State at number 1 Texas. So Texas, I think they roll. Arch Manning, he's looked good since taking over as a starter right now with Quinn Ewers out for an injury. So give me Texas by a lot. Now let's move on to the prime time games. Let's start with the one on Peacock, 7 o'clock. Number 3 Ohio State at Michigan State. As much as I want to pick Michigan State to beat the Buckeyes, but the Buckeyes should win easily. I mean, I'm not saying Michigan State's like a bad team. I don't know. It's Ohio State. They should win this one. But if they lose, I'd say they don't deserve to be the playoff team or don't deserve the New Year's Six bowl. They don't deserve it. They lose a team like Michigan State, a team that they should be dominating a lot for a long time. So I'll take the Buckeyes this one, but I'd be happy to see Michigan State pull off an upset. Don't get me wrong. Next, Illinois at Penn State. Tough game for Illinois. Tough environment. They went into Lincoln, Nebraska, pull off an upset last week. Could they do it 2 weeks in a row? The answer, probably not. Penn State, primetime game in Happy Valley. I think they'll prevail and beat Illinois. Much as how good Illinois has been. They have earned my respect right now, but I got to take Penn State. Especially at home. But here's the game of the week in college football. Everyone's been wanting to see. Georgia versus Alabama. Number 2 Georgia versus number 4 Alabama. College Game Day will be there in Tuscaloosa for that one. And also, President Donald Trump will attend this game. Former President Trump, he will be there. Trump will be at this one. Well, this is pretty much that's why this is the biggest match of the year. I mean, he's in the building too. But of course, this is an SEC championship rematch. Thing is, Bama beat Georgia last year to get to the playoffs, while Georgia missed out and ended up playing in a consolation Orange Bowl game with Florida State. Georgia is thinking about that loss still. They could have been in the playoffs last year. So I got to take Georgia in this one. They are pissed off. They want to come into a hostile environment like Alabama and win. So I think Georgia is going to be thinking about that loss, and they will prevail and get revenge on Alabama. So give me the Bulldogs. Now let's recap last week's NFL games. Obviously, we talked about the Bills a lot. Last week's Thursday night game, I did not expect it to be a blow-up, but at the same time, just had mixed feelings in that one. That Patriots-Jets one, I took the Patriots points. I should not have, but I thought it was a lot closer because of the division match. But the Jets dominated. Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good. I'll give him that. Lazard, obviously, it starts with Allen Lazard. I mean, Garrett Wilson's good too, but Allen Lazard's his main target. For sure. So the Jets look pretty good. The Patriots just expected to be getting their ass kicked in that one. Like we saw most of the year we thought it would be. So that was that one. Chargers, Steelers. Boy, did the Steelers defense look pretty dominant as usual, but also we're seeing Justin Fields improve. Each week. Throwing that 55-yard touchdown pass to Calvin Austin. Also, I think he had a rushing TD thing. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Justin Fields, he looks pretty good this year. But that's a good win for them. Chargers, hopefully Herbert's back in time to play against the Chiefs this weekend. So let's hope that happens. The Colts, it was kind of came down to the wire. Colts, Bears came down to the wire. I got that pick right. Like the Steelers pick I got right, too. I picked both those ones and got right. Caleb Williams, he had over 300 yards passing, but he just kept turning the ball over. Colts, it was kind of like, both teams are kind of trash kind of game, but the Colts prevailed. I knew they were going to win that one. This one was a big shock, even though the Vikings are pretty good, but they dominated Houston. Houston did not look like the same Houston team we saw the first 2 games of the year. Minnesota is the real deal right now. They look kind of scary right now. Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson. And also that Vikings D just looked scary too. They really do look scary this year. So that happened. What else happened here? Oh, yeah, the shocker, too. Giants beat the Browns. Giants had the first one by beating Cleveland. I did not see coming. So, I mean, it's got to be frustrating for Browns fans right now, but don't worry. They'll get back to them for form eventually. Right now, it's a frustrating time for them. But this one was kind of an ugly one. Eagles Saints. It was a good game, but just the score was not pretty. Saints offense really was shut down by the Eagles D. Eagles found a way to win. Saquon Barkley had another multi-touchdown game. He is the biggest reason why the Eagles are kind of good this year. I mean, everyone's saying Jalen Hurts this, Jalen Hurts that, but he's just actually good. I mean, Saquon Barkley being on actually a really relevant team most of finally in his career. The Giants had that one good year. That was about it. So, yeah, Saquon Barkley gets them the win. Also, the Eagles' defense kind of found a way, but still, it starts with Saquon Barkley. This one, no one saw coming. This was another shock. The Broncos just obliterated the Buccaneers. They just dominated that one. I mean, Bo Nix probably played his best game of his rookie season so far. No, the Bucs. That's got to be frustrating for Tampa Bay fans. But in the NFL, you just don't know. You just got to take every team seriously in this league. And the Green Bay Packers beating the Tennessee Titans. I picked that one. I was not surprised Green Bay was going to win that one. Malik Willis, it was a revenge game for him ever since the Titans got rid of him. He gets a rushing TD, gets a passing TD. So he looked pretty good. The Packers D looked pretty good. Jay Alexander at the pick 6. Will Levis just probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now. Just one of the most dog shit quarterbacks. I mean, he just got sacked 8 times this past weekend against Packers. That's got to be tough for him. Frustrating as well, too. So, yeah, Titans fans, do you think, I mean, if I were the Titans, I would bench Will Levis and start Mason Rudolph the next game after we saw. That's what I really think. This one's another stunner. We got a lot of shockers this week. The Panthers got their first win of the season, beating the Raiders. Yeah, I'm glitching a little bit. Yeah, the Panthers got the win. Which I did not see coming. That's going to be embarrassing for the Raiders. After a big win over the Ravens, they came out and lose to probably the worst team in the NFL, one of the worst teams in the NFL, in the Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton looked pretty good in that game. Deontay Johnson probably had his best game as a Carolina Panther since leaving Pittsburgh. I would not see that coming. Then Dolphins, I knew the Dolphins were going to get blown up, but I just did not expect Skylar Thompson to play that bad. Seattle looked pretty good. The thing is, Dolphins had a poor offensive performance. First game out Tua. They look poor. No, they look just absolutely terrible. The Cardinals, I figured they were going to lose, but I knew the Lions would cover. So Lions bounced back week. They got the win. Same as Baltimore. They got their first win of the season, and it's a rough time to be a Dallas fan right now. I mean, Dallas Cowboys losing, and also the CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott arguing on the sidelines. Just a lot of drama in Big D right now. And the 49ers, how do you blow a big lead, a 14-point lead, and lose to the Rams? And now it's gotten worse for the 49ers. McCaffrey's going to Germany to a specialist now for his Achilles injury, so that's not a good sign. He might be out for the season now. I feel like that's not a good sign at all. No, so and the Chiefs once again got lucky. Thanks to the referees. It was down to the wire game. I'll give credit to the Falcons; they hung in there, but it could have been a blowout. But the pass interference call, this should have been a pass interference on Kansas City. That was a big call right there. Chiefs found a way to win on defense as well, but still, that was a big call. I gotta say, that's probably frustrating for Falcon fans. They should have won that. Now, obviously, we talked about the Bills beating the Jags. But there's another upset. The Commanders beating the Bengals. But still, I mean, it wasn't like can't blame on Joe Burrow. He played really good. It's just the Washington Commanders found a way to win. I did not see it coming. Still, the offensive shootout, but the Washington somehow won. I was surprised. I'm really impressed with this Jaden Daniels. He might win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Look out. I mean, seriously. Probably the best of that QB class so far. The rookie class so far. Easily. Let's get into this week's picks. Let's start with tomorrow's Thursday night game between the Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants. Yeah, a lot of drama going on with Dallas, their team and all that. I agree. Yeah, the Commanders, that was a surprise. That was one of the biggest shocks along with the Panthers and all some of the upset wins. So, yeah, that was a big shock. So, yeah, the Cowboys are favored by 4.5 on the road in MetLife Stadium against the Giants. Giants came off a huge win over the Browns. pull out a finger point between CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. There's a lot of drama going on with the Cowboys. And Jerry Jones, I heard his radio interview. It's like, I'm not too worried. Like, I don't know. It's like, this is probably the worst start in his career. But yeah, there's been so much drama with Dallas. But I think Dallas will be fired up, and they're going to come out and just dominate the Giants like they usually do. I think I'll take the spread. They'll cover. Cowboys will cover and just dominate the Giants. This is a bounce back week for the Cowboys. This is a must-win game for Dallas right now. This early in the season already. Because the urgency's already there for sure. Next is a huge AFC South showdown here. Falcons, who are supposedly the favorites this offseason to win the NFC South. The Saints, who've been a really good team. They came off a tough loss to the Eagles last week. I mean, 2-1 looked to bounce back. As much as I would love to take the Saints, I don't know. The Falcons, they came so close to beating the Super Bowl champs. So I'm going to take the Falcons. They're going to cover the 1.5 point spread and win outright. I don't know. I like the way Kirk Cousins, I think he's starting to get used to the system. I really think so. This Falcons team it's a huge division game. I feel like the Falcons should win this one. Next, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. Pittsburgh is the slightly favorites on the road. They are favored by 1.5 according to MSP. This is the pool I'm always in. So Pittsburgh, I'm going to take they're going to cover. And the Colts, Anthony Richardson's going to have a hard time with that Pittsburgh defense. Personally, I really think. So I'll take the Steelers. Next, a winless Jacksonville Jaguars team. The team that I just saw lost in Buffalo, the team I was at. Against the Houston Texans, who just got dominated too by the Vikings. Both these teams come off blowout losses. A critical AFC South showdown. Hello?
Are you still celebrating the win?
Yeah.
Are you still celebrating the win?
Yes.
On Monday night?
Yeah, I am.
That's what Tyler Sports is saying.
What?
You're calling us blacks.
Yeah, right. That's so Tyler Sports saying that. What? Yeah.
That's what I almost said. I almost said.
I mean, I think they might be right now, but the thing is, they're without Tua.
And here's a hot take for the Bills.
What?
We lose to the Saints in the regular season, but we're gonna the playoffs.
That might actually make sense. Maybe we'll see. But that's bad. That'd be the best thing. Win the playoff game with them. I still think they'll make it. Yeah, I think we'll beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. But Tyler Sports, he's just so ignorant.
What are you doing next Saturday?
No clue. We'll see what's going on. Oh yeah, that's right. Right. It's going to go either way, I feel like. I'm going to get in that in just a little bit. All right, go Bills. All right. Let's get back to our NFL picks now. So I think, as much as the Texans are favored by 5.5, but I don't know. I think the Jaguars, they're fired up. I'm going to take the points. I don't know why. It sounds crazy picking the Jaguars, who just got dominated by the Bills. I just have a weird feeling the Jaguars make it closer, and Texans won't cover. I don't know. I just really think Jaguars are due for a win. I think it's time to do it right now against Texans team. So give me the Jaguars spread. I'll take the points in this one. Next, the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. This is the Aaron Jones return game. Aaron Jones, since signing with the Vikings in the offseason, plays against his former team, goes into Lambeau, I think, and just dominates the Packers. I am taking Minnesota. They are the slight underdogs. I am taking the points for sure. It doesn't matter whether Jordan Love plays or not. They are not beating the Vikings. This Vikings team right now. Starts with Sam Darnold. He has just been surprising everyone right now. This quarterback play, what he's been playing this year. The Giants would say, okay, it's the Giants, but then came out and beat two really good teams the last 2 weeks, including beating the Texans. and beating the 49ers. I mean, that's just, yeah, Sam Darnold is going to come into Lambeau and put on a good game. I think Aaron Jones at least scores 1 or 2 touchdowns against his old team. And it says, like, yeah, you miss me? Yeah, I really think the Vikings, it's not going to be close. Vikings are just going to dominate the Packers. Yeah, Packers are going to have their hands full this weekend. So give me Minnesota. Next, Bengals and Panthers. I mean, Bengals off to an 0-3 start, which obviously including that stunner to losing to Washington. Panthers came off their first win, obviously, over the Raiders. So as much as I would love to take the Panthers, I don't know. This is a game the Bengals have had to win. If the Bengals lose this one, I'd say they're not making the playoffs. If they lose to Carolina, then all bets are out. They should not make the playoffs. This is a game you have to have. They're favored by 4.5 in Carolina, so I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals. The cover. Oh, give me Cincinnati. This is a much needed win they gotta have. After starting 0-3. Next, the LA Rams at the Chicago Bears. I mean, this Rams team found a way. That's a big win. They get their first win of the season last week over the 49ers. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, looked all right. He had over 300 yards passing, but I mean, he's got to have that complete game. As much as, I mean, they're the favorites. The Bears are favorites to win, but I got to take the Rams. So Matthew Stafford. I really got to take this Rams team. Really, really are going to win. They're going to get back to 500 while the Bears drop to 1-3. You know, watch how good the Bears are. They got some talent on there, but just, I don't know. I just like this Rams team still, despite being beat up. They're got some momentum going after that big win over the 49ers. I like them in this one. Denver Broncos at the New York Jets. Jets are favored by 6.5. Broncos came off a huge win over the Bucs. Do I take them? Do I take the points? I mean, the answer, probably not. I don't know. That Jets defense is going to get Bo Nix a hard time. And you know he looked pretty good against Buccaneers. Don't get me wrong on that. Just, I don't know. This Jets defense is just easy, one of the top 5, top 10 defenses in the league. They're going to have this rookie quarterback have a hard time. Aaron Rodgers is going to come out just looking solid like he's been doing since his return from the season-ending injury last year. So I like the Jets in this one. Next, a wild card rematch. NFC from last year. Eagles versus Buccaneers. Buccaneers ended the Eagles season, the wild cards. Yeah, this is kind of personal to Philadelphia. They're slight favorites on the road. I got to take Philadelphia in this one. I think they think about like the team that ended their season last year. This is kind of a personal game for the Eagles, so I got to take Philadelphia in this one over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay came off a tough loss to the Broncos. Meanwhile, Eagles came off a huge win over the Saints. This one's kind of a really good one. A couple former Heisman QBs going head-to-head. The Washington Commanders come off a huge win over the Bengals, while the Bengals are 0-3, but still that's a huge win against the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray versus Geno. That's a good one. A couple of former Heisman winners going ahead this one. The spread is 3.5, favored by the Cardinals. I'm going to take the points. I think it's going to be a lot closer game. I'm taking the Commanders points. I learned my lesson after picking against them last week. I thought for sure the Bengals were going to win last week. I learned my lesson. I'm taking the Commanders points. I think they might win outright too and go 3-1. This Washington team looks a lot better than a lot of people expected this one. So I like Washington's one. Everyone's sleeping on them. Patriots and 49ers. Ugh, this one's not even close. The spread's 10.5. That's a big spread for the NFL. That's kind of a big spread, but I got to take the 49ers. They're frustrated. They're fired up after a tough loss last week. Thing is, they got to get it going without McCaffrey. They looked good in the Monday night game. All of a sudden, they've lost back-to-back games. This is a game they got to really just light up. That defense starts with the defense. Nick Bosa and all of them, that defense is going to just be all over New England. It's going to be the same repeat of like the Thursday game for the Patriots. They're going to struggle with this 49ers D. So give me the 49ers big. It's not going to be even close. Give me the 49ers. Next, the Cleveland Browns and the Las Vegas Raiders. In the spread, it's not even a spread. It's like plus. It's like 0.5. It is like, so it's not even a point. So it's pretty much a pick'em game. Browns came off a bad loss to the Giants. Meanwhile, same with the Raiders. Lost to the Panthers. So both teams have enough bad losses. As much so, take the Raiders. It's at home. It's in Vegas, but Cleveland wants this more. Cleveland has got to win this one. After what we saw last year, how good they were. I think Cleveland dominates, and of course the Raiders. Remember who the quarterback is. They're starting Minshew still, but they're going to have a hard time with that Browns defense, so give me them. Next, the spread is 7.5. The Chiefs are favored by 7.5 on the road in LA. Depends what Justin Herbert is going to play or not. I'm going to take this points. I think Herbert's going to play. I think it's going to be a lot closer game. I am not taking the Chiefs spread. That's kind of a big spread. Maybe the Chiefs will still find a way to win, but still, it's going to be a lot closer. This game will be. I'm telling you that right now. That's a big spread for the Chiefs. So give me the Chargers points. It could go either way in that one. Bills and the Ravens on Sunday Football. 2.5 favorite of the Ravens right now. They are the favorites to win this one. Ravens came up for their first win of the year. We know the Bills came off their best win of the season. They're 3-0, but that is just a complete team effort. That game was 47-10. This one, if you're an MSP in the football pool, then stay away from that one. So, but I'm still taking the Bills. You know why? I just can't pick against my team, but it's just I don't know. Stay away from that one. Most of the people who are MSP, stay away from that pick. That's a tough one. Then the Monday Night Doubleheader, another Monday Night Doubleheader. First one, 7:30 on ESPN. The Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins. That's kind of oh my God, like not a good matchup because, second game without Tua for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, the Titans are 0-3. Will Levis just looks awful. But the Titans are due for a win, so I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans this pick. And also, this is my pick of the week. Tennessee Titans, I think they're going to cover and they'll win. It sounds very bold, very a ballsy pick by me, but I just don't know. I think Tennessee's due for a win. I think Levis, he had a good game last year. I mean, of course, Titans had a good game last year against the Dolphins on Monday Night Football last year. I think they'll do the same thing. Repeat what happened last year. I think Dolphins are going to struggle, of course, without Tua still. So give me the Titans. Last but not least, the other Monday night game, 8:15 on ABC, is the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. It is 4.5 favorite by the Lions. It's in Detroit. This one's kind of a tough pick. And Seattle's playing good ball so far. They're 3-0, while the Lions, obviously 2-1, a Super Bowl contender. Another primetime game for them. Second of many primetime games they'll have this year. Should be a good match. I mean, of course, these two teams have always gone down to the wire. Last year, Seattle's won the last 2 times they played Detroit. Just think about it, in Detroit. Seattle's won the last 2 meetings. But I think it changes. I'm taking the Lions spread. I think they'll at least win by a touchdown. I mean, I don't know. I think Detroit is due to beat Seattle. They have had struggles with this team. I think they'll get over that hump and beat the Seahawks this year. So I'm taking the Lions. Dan Campbell, I mean, this Lions team just looks scary. I mean, they look so good, but as much as I know my family from Michigan wants them to lose because they're building their Bills fans. They want to see the Bills win a Super Bowl before the Lions do, but this Lions team is pretty good. They're due to beat the Seahawks, so I like Detroit. Well, hope everyone enjoys their football weekend this weekend, obviously. Make sure to watch a lot of the college games and the NFL. And we'll see how I do in MSP this week. I didn't do that hot this week. I'm 3 for 3 on my pick of the weeks. Because the Bills were pick of the week last week and I won that. So let's see if I can go perfect 4 for 4 on pick of the weeks this year. So we'll see how I do this week. So enjoy the weekend, everyone. Thanks for watching.